Good afternoon, traders. It's AJ. Today is just we're going to do a recap webinar on the plays that we did today, and we'll talk about a little bit of Kodak that we did yesterday. But I really want to, um, you know, um, I had hold on. Now my phone went out. Wow, just not my day. Yeah, I had computer issues. I had an earthquake. I had computers go out. I had internet go out. I had my phone go out. Um, my phone is out right now. I'm sliding the power off. Power is off. And now I am going to turn my phone back on. I'm going to turn my phone back on. I'm waiting for the Apple signature. Hopefully it'll come on. Anyway, I want to talk about today on July 30th, 2020, some of the stocks that we traded and the setups that we did. And it was a really good day today. We had one that didn't even make the list, but was presented to us in the chat room. The file was TAOP. And one of the things that this room, Propos, I would probably look if it goes through 650, probably goes back to 8. So you need to break this system right here, that base right there. But I don't think it's going to go down. I think it's going to go up. So I think you'd be okay. Um, okay, so I can't respond because jeez, this is not, yeah. All right. Okay. Now, a couple of plays that we did today, I'm going to talk about real quick. Again, uh, so I'm going to, if Propel breaks out, watch that 6.5 and then take it to 8. It should fill that gap right there. And after that, then it'll have room to go. And you see how they're building it up. 600, 600, 400, 800. I'd like to get a little bit more bigger blocks, but they're building it up for another run on it. And I believe this is a former runner. Let's see if we go back a year. We have to go back 3 years on this one, and you have room to go. So you have wow, you've already hit this area here. So we already hit the 8s. So stock has room to 976 and 1081. After that, sky's the limit. All right. So those are the two first obstacles you got to go through to get to that. But it looks like it's heading upwards, and I like the trend. And so I guess this will be the stock that'll be in play while I'm talking for the next 20 minutes. Okay, so enjoy it. Have fun. Again, long that $6. Give it room to 650. If it comes down, 550 is your stop. 50-cent risk for a move to $7 to $8 while I'm talking. Okay. Now we did a stock called Talp today. This did a 6-to-1 reverse split. But what made this really special is we traded it live in the chat room, of course. Originally, it started, and typically what happens is these small cap stocks, especially ones that I'll show you the kind of the history of Talp, so you kind of get a feeling. A lot of times what happens is a stock will just sit there like pretty much dormant. It won't even trade much less more than what 30, 40 cents. And so what they do is they'll announce a split. So they'll do a 5-to-1, 4-to-1, 6-to-1, 8-to-1, 10-to-1 split. And typically when they do a split, they always come out with news. These small cap stocks really know how to work the market. And most of them are, I don't want to say scams, but I mean, in reality, it's just you kind of almost have to laugh at it because as soon as the split comes, news is going to follow. And so it was just today was just no different. When you look how this one's set up, you go to Talp, and you can see how they set up the 6-to-1 reverse split yesterday. See, there's the 6-to-1 split. Market opens up, and voila! Out of nowhere, all of a sudden, they announce news. You see how that works? All right, because they need volume in their stock. They need interest in their stock, and there's no interest at 40 cents. So And nobody really wants to, honestly, especially in our room, we don't really move a penny stock. It's not the most, we like to move these, $1, $2, $3, $4, and just let it rip. So they came out with probably the most stupidest news out there. Teopen announced that it's upgraded its software platform, its smart cloud platform. If that is the most stupidest thing I've ever heard, I mean, it's just dumb. But anything to get people like us excited. So, and the beauty of these type of plays is that they can really run. And now that the stock has been sitting for all this time in the 40-cent range, and now we're opening it up to what is it, buck $2, right here, $1.50 on the split, and then the news hits, and you get a little bit of the smaller chat rooms, they start to buy, and the volume's pretty light. You're talking, just little trinkles here, 200 shares, 700 shares. And then you get a 17,000, 22,000, 9,000. And it's nice, it's pretty, but it's not attracting people like us, like Awesome Calls. When Awesome Calls gets involved, it's a little bit different. We're looking for that movement, and what we look for is the breakouts. And about right here, when it hit the 5 breakout, volume started to kick in. Rooms were starting to pick this up. We started to pick it up right around right here, around $6 a share in the chat room. A gentleman in our room, Syed, who just joined us recently, brought it to our attention off his scanners, and I started to watch it at that moment. And so obviously it took over 30, 40 minutes to get my attention on it, but I want you to see what happened once it got our attention. I immediately put it on screen, and I started to walk it up. And when I walk it up, I'm watching everything. I have everyone we have 19 chat rooms pretty much based in here. So um, I know that once we like something, it is liked by everyone. And so this is exactly what we do. We start um, buying the stock, and we start playing it to the long side. And what I do is I'll go ahead and basically, based on what I look at, I can tell you at 6, 7, or 8 where the stock's going to go and how quickly it could get there. So when it hit 8, I was calling 11. When it hit 11, I was calling 13, 12 to 13. After that, I said, be careful at that moment. You might have a little bit more, but I'm done with it. And for us to grab 4 points on a trade to 3 to 4 points with size, and we're talking, you know, I, you know, I'm calling it here at this 8 spot. I'm going, okay, traders, I want 11. I want 11 or more, 11, 1150. Once I hit that, I'm out. And something like this, you could trade 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares, 3,000 shares. I know a lot of you won't, but for a trader like me, playing 1,000 shares with a 1 point risk, I'm all in it, especially when I can see that the stock has momentum and it's going to move to the upside. And I can see it based off my level 2. I punched up level 2 live, and I was basically just walking it straight up. And I hit 11, and we were out of it. I was out of it. Some of the room stayed in it, and I watched traders, and I was really watching the base at 8 and watching the rotation of the market makers, just going back and forth. I was watching the flow of the stock, and I was just getting a really good feel of, what? I was looking, once I saw the rotation, I could see 11, 1150, 12, and I was like, okay, traders, as long as we have support at 8, we don't break. And I think I was in this at $9.57, somewhere around there. And I said, I'm going to give it room. As long as we don't break 8, we're in good shape. I believe they'll keep it up. And once we hit 9, we'll rip to 10 and then hit the 11 spot. And true to my word, within this span of time, between, you can look between 750 or in your case 1050 to what is this 810 in a 15-minute period, I was able to walk it up to 11. That's huge in a chat room. Guidance, You got my voice. You've got me telling you what the stock's going to do. I'm in the trade with you. I'm rocking it. I know where it's going to go. These play are very compelling. This is compelling when you're trading stocks with like a master, a guy who really knows small cap. I mean, you could have, and believe me, I had a bad day in the morning. I chased EDSA, out of the gate. I was too preoccupied by what was going on with my computers and everything. And in the morning when the market opened, I felt the stock was going to push. I went ding, 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 ding. I went to go long it right here, and I just couldn't get out quick. I wasn't quick enough on the trigger to get out on a market order. And yet it did exactly what I wanted to pop at the open towards 19 scale and shorten and take it down. Unfortunately, TD would not allow shorts on this one. So I had the opportunity to play it long. I was right on point. As soon as 18 hit, boom, it hit. Went to 19. I wasn't quick enough. Stock came right back down. Then I went to go play orally, and this one was running really nice. I was actually up on the stock. I was excited. I wanted 490 on it, but it got tired, so I ended up taking about a 1.5 point hit on it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll make it up on another one. And then I think it was Blink. I went in on Blink at the opening bell as well. I felt that, it was starting to curl right around here at the open, and I went long on it, and it pulled really hard and aggressive, and I didn't wait for the pop to get me back up to even. So I just took the hit, and I'm like, okay, sometimes that happens. My timing's off, but I just started the day, so I'm not worried about being red. I know that something will come, a stock will run. I mean, I could have took UPS for 5 points, but I was kind of looking out for that small cap runner that I could put a decent amount of shares in and just run it. And then Top was presented to me, and once I saw that, it was on. I was just like, okay, it's going to wipe away all my losses. I'm going to be green for the day, and I'm excited. So I really got excited about this. I was actually studying it live as well in the room. And again, flag breakouts are important to me. And once it ripped out, and I want you to see after I was done with it, even though I was done at 11 and I called it to 12, the stock actually ran a couple more points after I got out at that 12 spot. It ran to 15. So traders could have still continued to make money. Again, the news was stupid. It had no reason to be up there, and as you can see, the stock is just coming right back down where it should be. Short sellers in our room would be taking the stock right around here, short around 14 on that lower low right here, 1350, stops at 14, and just write it down. Because the stock really had no reason to be up, but you can't stop a train. I mean, you can't. You don't want to, let the stock show you, and as you can clearly see, the stock just had nothing but buyers in there. Very few sellers on the stock. And that's really good when the stock is running. You're looking for those sellers to come in, and the buying, it was a buying frenzy. And I was watching the level 2, and I could just see the buyers coming in over and over off the bid. And I was just walking it up, walking it. The sellers were getting chewed up left and right and just getting bitten. And they were just tossing them to the side while the buyers were coming in. So I wasn't too worried about the ask. There was no big seller. But at some point, the stock had to get exhausted. So I was comfortable in that 3-point move. I captured over, I believe it was almost 2 points, a point and a half on it myself, from 9.57 to 11. But if I had stayed in it with the size I had, it would have been another yesterday Kodak moment. So, but for me, I was happy to get green. I was happy to get above my $1,000 for the day. I'm not greedy. I'm happy. I'm good. And I stopped trading at that moment. I'm very disciplined when I hit my goal. This week, my goal is usually 1,000 a day or 5,000 a week, and I'm already over $9,000. And every trade, every entry, every exit, I mean, I'm very, very transparent when I'm doing, what my entry is, what my exit is, what my exit strategy is, how I'm going to, when I'm going to get out. And I do it live because it's really important to share everything with your clients so they can either take the trade with you or at least learn from the trade as you're trading it and making money. And that's really, really important. So TALP was a really great play for us, and we understood it, and we played it very well. A couple good things that came out. One of the things I really liked today was UPS and Qualcomm. These, when I was, I felt Qualcomm If it snapped 100 on 101 area, we could probably get a nice little short on it for 2 or 3 points. This was not going to gap fill whatsoever. The Qualcomm had really great numbers, but once it popped and kept above that 101, the long was on at that moment. We were calling, I think, 105 to 106 on it. Ended up going an extra point. With UPS, again, for us on UPS, we wanted to break out it. I think we were calling 138, 140. And what we do on our notes, I'll kind of take you to Qualcomm here, for instance. I let traders really, really know um, what to do specifically on a stock. So this way, there's a comfort level for them. If they long a stock, they're going to make their money. On UPS, for instance, I was very clear. Do not. Okay, we're already up 8 points, right? I like to get a little bit more push towards 140 or more. So I was letting the traders know at the opening bell, if you want to long it, I'm looking for that 140 or more. I would not short the stock unless I snap 136, then we can get a few points. Okay, so if it hit the 136, we'd probably take it down 2 or 3 points. Watch for that bottom, put it on the longs. If you hit that 139 and 140 area, I would be a long on the stock. And so actually Qualcomm was a really nice setup if you can look. It did pull right at the opening, pretty much almost at the opening bell, or actually in pre-market, it hit that 133. And so I was looking again for that 136 area to yank again down to this support area right here, but it ended up coming right back up. And once that 139, 140 hit, there was your long right there. So I was suggesting no shorting on the stock, let the stock run and rip. It already kind of hit its bottom. I would not short it unless it snapped at least the 136 area again. And as you can clearly see, 15, 20 minutes in, it just wouldn't even, it just stayed above that, which was excellent for us on the long side. And we were able to capture. And one of the reasons why I felt that the stock had more room to the upside, and I get this asked a lot, AJ, um, the stock is already up 5, 6, 7, 8 points. How do you know that the stock is going to continue to go higher? How are you comfortable with the idea it's going to go more? And so what I'm doing at that moment is I'm really studying not only the earnings report, which is really important. So I'll go to UPS and I'll look at the earnings, how strong they were and what they reported, and I'll read it, all right? And then at that moment, then I start to look at, what some of the analysts are saying on the stock. And with UPS last night, they really just absolutely did stunning on their growth, on their domestic, they just hit on all cylinders. And when you get something like that, um, and it says right here, our results were better than expected, driven by part the changes in demand that emerged from the pandemic, including a surge in residential volume, COVID-19 related healthcare, shipments, and strong outbound demand from Asia, um, keeping the world moving during the time of need. They just got busier. You know, it's kind of like it's kind of like day trading. Robinhood got busier when COVID came. Our room grew as well because, people were at home and they needed something to do to make money to supplement their income. And trading was introduced to them. Just like Robinhood users grew, I mean, tremendously. Everyone knows about it. Everyone wants to be a trader. So I felt that we had more room to go on UPS and UPS, once it hit over the 140 mark, it just didn't stop. There was no short in it. There was no reason to try to short it. You could be looking for topping, and there was just constant flag breakouts on the stair. I mean, you had 139, then you had 140, and then you had 142, then you had 143. It just kept going in like $1 increments, and then finally, now we kind of grinded out. With Qualcomm, again, they hit it on all cylinders as well. With Qualcomm, it was much easier for me to understand that the stock would have more room to the upside and to look for the breakout. After the earnings came out, which were um, incredible, I mean, to say the least, I mean, they blew it out of the water. But it really was helpful this morning because the analysts came out and every analyst upgraded the stock. Even the ones that hated the stock upgraded it, gave it higher price values across the board. And when you get that kind of strong combination, that usually that tells me the stock is going to most likely push more at the opening bell, because shorts are going to get squeezed out. They want to cover their positions. They don't want to be involved in the new price targets and have their stock keep going up against them, and they're short the stock. Besides, new investors will come in and buy the weakness, knowing the fact that you're getting upgrades across the board from JP Morgan to 120, and if the stock's sitting at 100, that's a 20-point increase. So you have more room. Raymond James at 120, Deutsche Bank at 115, Sequoia at 125. That's telling the investors, hey, you got more upside. You can make 5 or 10 points on the stock. And that's exactly how we interpreted it as a day trade for us. We're only going to day trade this. I mean, yes, you could be buying options on it, a 110 call, 2-3 contracts on it at the opening bell. But for me, as equity wise, I'm just playing a quick 250, 350 shares, 2 or 3 points, all I'm looking for. But what I try to do is try to make it safe for the clients, that when they buy the stock, they know that I can tell them the stock is going to go up through the day once you pass a certain number. So for Qualcomm, I made it clear 104 would be your target. Now, you could still buy it at 100, 102, 103, but to get that, comfort level that I'm looking for to 107, I want you to buy it at 103, and then you can go to 107. This gives a clarity to the day trader in our chat room that you have the ability to make a few bucks on this for 2 or 3 points to the upside based on the information that I've read and so forth. And then here's the setup on Qualcomm, and you come in our chat room, and this is what you do. Ding, 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 ding. You let it settle, and it hits 104. There's 104 long. You obviously risk 1 point, and you just walk it up, and there's 107 right there. It's a nice 3-point play to the upside. Okay. Another one that we did today, we did quite a few of them, this was an interesting trade today, which was Park. And a lot of you won't trade something like this in your chat rooms. It's not presented to you. One rule of thumb. Okay, you can see how it trades. Its height range between 66 and 70. That's pretty much what it changes. It's just kind of a level trade. It's not a day trade. There's no reason to day trade it unless there's earning analyst calls or whatever. So why is this in play today? Why is it gapping up thin this morning at $78 a share? Why is it up $82 right here? Why is the bid and ask 78 and 82, right? So that's the first question you have to ask yourself. Why is it up? And what will it do now? How will the stock react at the open? And this is the bread and butter of awesome calls. I don't say that, a lot of people say you predict the movement before it happens. I don't know if predict is the word. I don't know really what it is. It's just we do so much research, and we played so many of these type of plays that we know what the stock's going to do. I don't know. Predict is the actual word you want to use for our room. A lot of people use it. They predict the movement. They predict where the stock's going to go before it even opens. They know exactly where it's going to play out. There's many terms you could use for us, but in this instance, I want you to see the news. So for us, it's a thin stock, yes, but the stock has more room to the upside depending on the news. And so what's the news? And the first thing you do is you want to clarify what the news is. So again, we go do our research. We do our due diligence in the morning. This is what Awesome Calls does. We put up a trade, and again, it's a stock that nobody would trade. We hit Park, and voila. Park National replaced Denbury Resources in S&P 600 on August 3rd. Now, to a lot of you in other rooms that just do penny stocks, small caps, trade SPY only, there's rooms that's all they do, trade SPY, 24/7. That's all they trade. They won't trade anything else. And then the option rooms and so forth. I mean, nobody really picks up on stocks like this. Nobody, like, with 1,000 stocks gapping up and down, why does Park come to your attention? Park comes to my attention because it closed at 78. It's up at 82. I want to know, do I have more upside on it where I can make an easy 200 share purchase and pop it up 3 or 4 points and make $800? That's why. With 9,000 buying power on 100 shares, a trader can walk in with less than 10 grand to work with, buy 100 shares, and get 3 points and make 300 for the day. Isn't that what life is about? Isn't that the true essence of day trading? To make $200-300 a day, $100 a day, to be consistent? I mean, to me, that says it all. That's day trading. So if I can find a little bit of movement on a stock um, with more upside to it, or can I short the stock down to the downside? I mean, I don't know. I have to look at it, you know? Well, if your company is achieving the goal to go to the S&P 600, S&P 500, obviously you saw what Tesla did. I mean, it ran from what 1,000 to 1,700. It made the S&P 500, or it's going to, if it hadn't already. But the S&P 600 is such um, a milestone for a company. Investors, there's rewards for the investors galore. So typically, we don't short those stocks unless they really break. But when the stock is up thin, shorts want to get out of it because they didn't know this was coming. So this is positive for investors. So they need to get out of the stock, which is going to squeeze the stock quite a bit. And so for me, on this particular stock, I wanted to long the open. I felt the stock had more room in it to the upside, even though it was gapping up, because it was gapping up thin. Now, I felt the stock would come down to probably $86 a share. It was already up 13, right? $82, 12 to $13. And so when I looked at it, I said, you know what? I still think we can go even higher. I think we could still purchase it at 82, 83 and still get 3 or 4 points on it. And I really made it clear to the chat room that I didn't want anyone to short this stock at all unless it snapped 81. This is essential. If you're a short seller, like, well, this should gap. I got 13 points to downside. Slow down. Slow down. Take a chill pill. You may think that, but do you know the significance of replacing a company and being part of the S&P 600? No, you don't. So why don't you just take a chill pill? And why don't we just take the stock even higher? And even if it did snap, there was no way it was going to gap fill. I mean, you might come down 5 points if that. So what I do again is I protect the trader. I'll give you a trade you've never traded before, the idea that you've never even seen in your life. But I'll educate you so when you see another one like that, you'll go, oh, I remember that. I remember S&P 500, S&P 600, the Russell 2000. Oh, it's hitting the NASDAQ. So they're going to be part of the NASDAQ. I understand now, AJ. These are positive. This is positive for the company, positive for investors. Exactly. Shorts are going to get squeezed out. There you go. You're learning the game. This is just one element. And I like to find these type of plays because it introduces another part of day trading, just like IPOs, just like offerings, just like earnings, just like analyst calls. I'm introducing another part of the world of day trading that if you needed just the for sure trade, like, man, can I come in and take 100 shares of something and make $100? Yes, this is your trade. If it opens and pops, the stock has room to 86. I want you to see what happened on this stock. Ding, 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 ding. Right? The stock right here, if you had long the stock at the opening bell, plenty of time to get in. Remember I said don't short it unless it snaps 81? It clearly didn't even come close to that. Right here, you could have went long at 83, 84, and guess what went? 87. Just in a matter of minutes. Plenty of time to get in. 100 shares at 83, you made $300. Do you understand that? It costs $6 to be in the room per day. If you're an annual, it's like $2. It's like $1.50 if you're an annual. If you're a 6-month, it costs $3 to be in here. On your very first trade, if you follow this, and you know what? A lot of people don't. Believe it or not, even in my room, they won't take it. Do you know why? Because it's boring. It's boring. It's a boring trade. I give a lot of boring trades that make money, but I'm going to continue to do it as long as I run the chat room because it's another element. And why I do this and why I teach is because right now we're in a bull market. It's clear as, I mean, everything is just flying. Everything. It doesn't matter. COVID, this, that. Now, come election time, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. So stocks could plummet 20, 30, 40%. We don't know. Stocks could go up 10, 20%. We don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that if I can teach traders different elements of day trading to find different types of trades, offerings, earnings, IPOs, analyst calls, upgrades, downgrades, bio, Bitcoin, all this other alternatives, that when they see a park type trade where it's an S&P 500, S&P 600, they can play that stock and still be safe by introducing it to them. So again, 200 shares with 16,000 buying power would have made you $600 today. 100 shares would have made you $300 today. And the stock didn't stop there. It went all the way to 90. And again, what did I say? Don't short the stock unless it breaks 81. So there's no way you could lose on that trade. It was either going to go upside or that's it. So I protected the trader. I want you to see another one we did today. This was probably one of the best calls in Awesome Calls. This hands down was probably one of the best calls. Now OSTK has been on a tear. I mean, the last 90 days. I mean, you want to look? This stock for the last 90 days, from the last earnings at $8, it's now 78. This is a monster. Bitcoin's going up. They do a lot of different other things. I mean, they just kept going. Now, OSTK came out with great earnings. All right. So when you look at the overnight, they closed roughly around 61. Well, in the morning, earnings came out this morning and the stock had peaked at $74.50. If that doesn't tell you we got a stock in play from $60 to 74, that's 13 points. That's in play, traders. We are going to play that stock. There is no ands, ifs, or buts. This is our baby. Okay? Now, again, the stock in pre-market has moved all the way up. And here's pre-market. You can see right here, 615, 621. My job is to tell a trader, what is the stock going to do at the open? Talk to me, AJ. I know you only had a few minutes, but I want to know what the earnings said. I want to know what the analysts say. And now I want to know what you're going to tell me to do. How do I trade that stock? You have 5 minutes to tell me. Okay. So what do I do? What do I do? All right. This is what my room demands of me as a trader. I don't care if the earnings came out 2 minutes ago. I want you to tell me today, this second, stop what you're doing and tell me how to trade OSTK. Otherwise, I'm going to leave your room. Okay? Well, if you leave, you leave. I don't care. All right. Well, let's take a look. Let's see. Last quarter, they were 8 cents negative, and this quarter, they're plus 84. Last quarter, they were 597 million. This quarter, they're 783 million. Retail sales doubled more year over year. The number of new customers more than tripled. Okay, that's all I need to see. This stock is gone. Okay, so it's a bullish play. It's in play. But before we run the stock even higher, I need the stock to have some profit taking kick in because we've had a 2 or 3 month run into earnings. So I have to look at it and analyze it and say to myself, okay, this is going to come down a little bit. It will not gap fill. So get that out of your head. But if this stock comes down and hits around 64, be a buyer because that's going to curl around and just rip for the rest of the day. You'll make 10 points. Okay, AJ, seriously, I love you. I mean, you are the best day trader in the world. But if you nail this one today, and see, in Awesome Calls, this is just standard 101. I won't get acclimates for it. Nobody will tell me I'm great. Nobody will say that was a great call. It's just like, that's just, what number is that? Number 7 of 8? This is because the room is accustomed to this type of call. After a week, 2 weeks, a month you're in here, you're spoiled. And again, a lot of you will not trade that call even for 10 points because you know why? It bores you. It's not fast. It might be a great call for a retirement client or a lawyer or a doctor that comes in and says, oh, he thinks it's going to go up 10 points. I'll buy 1,000 shares. I can make $10,000 today while I'm doing somebody's teeth, or I can, do a surgery. I'll just put in, I'll long it at 65 and sell it at 75. So I make 10 grand today because he told me. And then there's the newbies that come in and the young traders that come in. I don't want OSTK. Go give me a shipper. Give me a 6-to-1 split. Go give me Kodak. I don't want to play boring stuff like that, AJ. But boring pays bills. Okay? Boring pays bills. Remember that. All right? BPB. Boring pays bills. Right? You can have a t-shirt made. Boring pays bills. So this is boring. So let me give you a boring trade. When it hits 64, go long. Take it for 10 points. All right. AJ, can you put that in writing? Sure. Ding, 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 ding. OSTK. Not buy unless this is 72. Otherwise, look for a fade to 64. When it hits 64, long it. That's it. That's your trade. If it hits 63 or 64, long the stock. Because that's the most it's going to gap down to. And after that, it's going to rip. Okay, so let me get this straight. First day in the room, if that stock hits 64 and I take a long, it's going to go to 74. Yes. I'm going to make 10 points on 100 shares with 6,000 buying power. Yes. BPP, baby. BPP. All right? Boring pays bills. I know it's not glamorous, but you know what? You could feed your family for a week or two on this one. All right? So you want to do it now? Let's do it. Ding, 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 ding. And AJ, you have 5 minutes to tell me after the earnings report came out what to do. Okay? Otherwise, you're fired. I have traders that do that. Doesn't matter how great I am. If I don't hit the timeline, they'll go trade somewhere else where a guy loses 400 grand. Okay. Bye. Okay, here we go. Ding, 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 ding. OSTK. Wow. Bell rings. Bam. Guess where it hits? $64. What do you do now? You start scaling in long. Give it room to 63 to add and let it rip, baby. And then here you go. You ready? There's your bottom. Now we're going to rip it. And there's your rip. 74. And you did that in 1 hour of work. In 1 hour of work, you could have made $10,000. And don't tell me this crap. Oh, that's after the fact. You're telling me after the fact. It's different in hindsight. Okay, again, you trade hindsight. I trade foresight. I see the move before it even happens because I did my homework. I did my research. I don't just predict. I know. That's the difference between you and me. Okay? So if you would have believed this call and took it at 64 or 65 and just bought it, like I told you, with 100 shares, you would have made $1,000 with 6,000 buying power. Now break that down. Break it down. You have $1,000, right? You have $1,000, right? You go to a platform that gives you 6-to-1, right? So that's $6,000, right? Give or take. You come in our room, you buy this stock with $6,400, right? 100 shares. You give it 1 hour of your day, you make $1,000. You made 100% return on your money on 1 day of trading. Because some guy who spent 15, 16 years of his life, who dedicates himself to day trading, to reading earnings, to reading reports, to studying analysts, puts so much blood, sweat, and tears in his world so you can make a living. Now, I want you all to think before I go. How many of you make $1,000 at work? Seriously, per day. How many of you? How many are you so anxious? I got to go to work. I got to go to work. I got to go to work. I got to get out of here. I can't be here. I can't be a trader. I got to go make my $150 for the day because they're going to pay me, otherwise I'm going to get fired. How much money do you have to work with? I have 10 grand. I have 4 grand. I have 3,000 in my savings. I gotta go to work. I gotta go make my $200 for the day. You gotta run to work to make 150 bucks. But you don't want to trade for an hour with me and make 1,000 on your 1,000? Because why? Because you don't believe in yourself? You don't believe you can be a trader? You don't believe it's that simple? You don't believe there's a room that can predict a move before it even happens? I don't know. What's your excuse? Because I'm trying to figure out one for you. Oh, I didn't believe in you on that one. Oh, okay. So what you're saying is I have to spend the next 3 months, hopefully, if you stay in here, for you to believe that I know what I'm doing because I've been doing this for 16 years. You see, there's so much pressure on me every day to deliver perfection in this room. I built the room based on that. Like, there's no day off in here. I can't have a bad day. Believe me, when I was coming up, I have a bad day. As soon as I have a bad day, people leave. 4 or 5 cancellations, just like that. You had a bad day. And then they watch me on Twitter, like, holy crap, look at those calls. And they come back in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave. I just, whatever. I don't, it's nothing personal. In day trading, okay, if you just allow yourself to learn, to study, to find a little bit of time in your busy world, and to trade alongside a veteran, a guy who's been doing it for years, pick his brain, watch how he trades, look how his notes. This stuff is written down before the market even opens, and then it's described, and then it's telling a trader, yes, go long here. Yes, I see 2 or 3 more points. Yes, it's okay. You know, and then to educate them later during the day and say, this is why it moved. You know, I know day trading can be, it has its moments where it's very boring. You can't find that trade, or things aren't moving, and you're frustrated. But just think for a moment before you go to work. All right, before you go to work, before you leave at 7:30 in the morning to get to work by 9, or before you leave at 8 to get to work by 9, or before the kids have to get dressed to go to school, or you know, you got to take care of your significant other and get them ready to leave the home. Whatever you have to do, you got to walk your dog and do your running. Give me an hour in the morning and let me make you some money, you know? And you don't need a lot of money with me to make money with me. I just need your heart. That's it. I need you to believe in what we're doing. Because if I don't have that, you'll never succeed. That's why day trading is the biggest turnover in all the industries. Because the people that don't make it think day trading is gambling. Well, it's gambling. Whenever I talk to somebody that's never day traded, oh, my friend did that, but it didn't work for him. Oh, yeah, my friend said my mom and dad think it's gambling. Yeah, because, the stock market just steals your money. No, 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 no. The stock market doesn't steal anybody's money. It really doesn't. You, it's like playing chess when you trade in our room. You have to be 10 steps ahead before that stock even makes its first move. And how do you win? Checkmate. Checkmate. I won. I bought it at 64 and I sold it at 74. Checkmate. You want to play a game with me? This is my game. You want to win? Be a part of what we do. Or go play somewhere else. Or go gamble somewhere else. You know? Have these gurus and frus teach you the wrong side of trading. They won't show you this. They won't teach you this because they don't know it themselves. They're just these young kids. Everybody's in a bull market. Everybody wants to run a chat room. Everybody wants to collect your subscription fees, and nobody cares about you. Okay? I may not be the most popular guy out there, but I'm not in here to be popular. I'm in here to be right, to attract that one client that's just looking to learn how to day trade. That's it. Teach that guy, that lady, that person, and watch them grow. Just like, and again, before I go, this I get a lot of inspiration from people. I really do. And I watch them all the time trade. But today, I got a DM from a nice lady that made over $2,300 in the last 2 weeks. $2,300. A part-time mother, a full-time mother, part-time trader. I'm sorry, forgive me. A full-time trader, okay? A part-time trader, a full-time mother of a beautiful family, you know, and every single day she picks one of the stocks and makes 100 to 200 a day, sometimes 3 or 400. She doesn't hear, nobody really follows her, even though she's an inspiration. She's a mother. She has to raise her beautiful children, raise her family, pay her bills, work part-time somewhere. But every single morning, she is in here waiting for that one trade to make her 200 or 300. And I want you to look. There's not one loss, not one losing day in 2 weeks. Now, to you, some of you, oh, she only made 2,200. That's an insult if you think of that. All right? That's an insult. To me, that's like somebody that just made 200 grand. Because that is inspirational to me. This is the trader. This is the type of trader I want in here to believe in what I'm doing that can make. And today's trade, what did she take? And guess what she took today? OSTK. She took 300 shares, 64 level, and she made $318. Imagine if she stayed in it, she would have made $1,800. She would have made $3,000, and she probably wouldn't have had a trade for the month. That is what Awesome Calls is about. And that is why I made this recording. I'll see you tomorrow. If you want to be a part of our room, it's not that hard. Click a link, hit it right there. Bam. All you got to do. And no, I don't work for free. And no, I'm not going to prove myself to you. If you don't have $25, go somewhere else. All right? You can't afford $6.97 a day. Sign up for a month. There's something. Then I'm not the room for you. Go somewhere else. Okay? If you're looking for me to spoon feed you after everything I've done for you on the notes, to prepare you, to teach you, to educate you with over how many webinar things I've got going? What is this? I've got 1,000 of them? I am preparing you every day to become the best trader that you can be. Okay? Remember that. And tomorrow, we're going to do this again. All right? Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.